I highly recommend The North of North, okay, on Netflix. I love learning about the Inuit culture. And if I said it wrong, indigenous people, because some of y'all be getting beside yourself, please correct me in the comments on how to pronounce it. It's a very entertaining and enjoyable, but filled with realism type of show. And the writing is very strong, and so is the cast. Okay. Quick synopsis. A young Inuit woman, her name is Saja. Okay. She is also a mom, lives in a tiny Arctic village, and wants to build a new future for herself very spontaneously. And it is an extremely public exit from her marriage. This series has a strong cultural representation with a cozy tone. It's wonderful to see and watch a show with indigenous people, including their linguistics, as well as their jewelry and clothing. I loved how they talked about colonization, how they talked about what happens to this day to indigenous people, the kidnapping, the residential schools. However, it's not the center of the show, and they do it in a joking way. However, it does build the curiosity where people can go search about the true history behind the kidnapping and the history of indigenous people, the indoctrination of religion, and why some people chose to be choose religion to basically repress their emotions or handle their emotions, especially the elders, on what happened to them and their family members in these schools in Canada. I also like that because of the past of Canada and how it correlates with Indigenous people. I felt like that was super deep, and that's just my opinion. But again, I am not Indigenous, so please listen more to Indigenous voices. It covers their traditions and how community is important, especially with the elders, as well as the youth. This show is extremely hilarious, very safe. There is no violence. There is a little smexy time, okay, but not too much. They cover narcissism. Excuse me. They cover narcissism and mother wounds for sure, okay. And again, they did such a great job, especially the writers and the directors, when it comes to writing these series. Because although it was hilarious, you were able to relate to each and every character, and the actors were able to invoke a lot of emotion out of me. And I think that's amazing, especially while you're watching media. Now, this has spoilers, just a tad, but it's not a lot. I just wanted to make a point. Now, I saw a lot of people, again, Letterboxd, Twitter, all these cesspools of places. Sorry, no shade, but all tea. A lot of people felt attacked because they were talking about like how some people go to different countries and they have like this white savior complex. Like they're less like, yeah, I know our community. It's like, baby, no. That's their community, not yours. Yes, you could be in community with them, but that's their community. Also, they covered how they could say a word, but other people can't say this word, and I'm not going to say the word, which I just learned that was a word that wasn't nice to indigenous people, and how, you know, basically nobody should say this word. It's an E word. And apparently people got offended by that. Don't know why, don't even care. Anyways, they also got offended because of interracial dating. So, right, Saja, this is Saja, right? Her mother, Navy, I'm sorry if I said her name wrong, from the show, dated someone and she became pregnant, right? Quick spoiler, I told you spoilers was coming. And because she was young and she had systematic oppression on her side, which was literally the last episode, anyway, on her side, she reveals that she had another child. And with this child, the father actually had the right complexion for protection. All right. When it comes to systematic oppression, I don't make the rules. Systematic oppression and the forefathers did. Okay. And he had complexion for protection, and he was able to basically kidnap her first child. And he was able to do that. And I felt like a lot of people got protected. They were like, oh, they're trying to make us look bad. And it's just like, baby, that's just history. Just pick up a book. But I know some of y'all can't read. Honestly, that was not even the center of the show. There was so many, like, the show is giving, like, you know how Sex in the City, you know how there's always an issue in each episode? It was like that. And it was 8 episodes. It was so great. And I loved how the writers made it realistic. It wasn't like this sad ending, but it was like a realistic ending. And I pray, okay, that they get a season 2. And again, you shouldn't feel offended if you're not a bad person. I don't be getting people. It's logic. The logic never logics, truly. Anyway, great show, great acting. Season 2 me, please. Immediately. Immediately. And Netflix, Netflix, you bring your ass here. Don't cancel this. Anyways, watch it and let me know what you liked about it. Okay, bye.